Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of rawradianthealth.com, and I'm Natasha St. Michael, and thank you so much for joining me. So today's Thursday, and yesterday I talked about nuts and seeds and about pretty much I gave you some guidelines with the nuts and seeds and digesting them, and I got quite a few questions regarding it, and two specific questions that I want to kind of go over today, because I just want everyone to be clear about the guidelines that I gave. Because when I gave those guidelines yesterday, and I mentioned it in the beginning of the videos, that I was directing this towards people that are having a hard time digesting nuts and seeds, specifically people that get onto a raw food diet, and in the beginning they one day they have a lot of nuts and seeds, and next thing you know it, they're having like all sorts of reactions. They're having bad bloating, they're having gas, they're having constipation or diarrhea, or it's indigestion, or it's all coming back up on them and they're burping sulfur, this kind of stuff, okay? So the main thing is that yesterday's suggestions and the quantities of nuts and seeds to have were suggestions towards people that are on a basic, well-rounded raw food diet that are coming into some issues with nuts and seeds. And most people, a lot of times, have a tendency that if they have one bad experience with one type of nut and seed, they end up sort of cutting it all out of their diet, and instead of trying different things and different ways of preparing the nuts and seeds to make it work for them. So I just want to be clear about that, because someone wrote me and they were all concerned, like, oh, I eat more nuts than 8 nuts a day and I'm fine with that, and why are you giving this kind of amounts? And if what you're doing is working for you, then great, continue doing what you're doing. But if you're running into digestive issues with nuts and seeds, you have to cut back on them, and you've got to figure out other ways to prepare them, because that will make it easier, rather than cutting out something that is full of essential nutrition that people need. It's not good to get on a diet and start cutting things out of it and refining it more and more and more and cutting out food groups. We've got to find a way to make our food work for us, that we can enjoy all different types of food, and at the same time that it's supporting our body, giving us energy and making us feel good. Okay, so, and this is also directed to people that are on a well-rounded raw food diet. Some people get on a raw foods and, you know, they have health conditions, right? And they might be on a diet that is very low glycemic, or they've cut fruit out completely for a certain amount of time. If that's the case, you definitely have to increase the amount of nuts and seeds in your diet. The reason why is because pretty much for anyone that's on a raw food diet, especially 100% raw food diet or a very high raw food diet, your calories, your energy, your fuel is either coming from fruit or it's coming from nuts and seeds and fats. So the main thing is that if you cut out the fruits, you got to increase the nuts and seeds, and vice versa. Some people, you know, have a hard time digesting the nuts and seeds and they take a break from it. If that's the case and that's your situation, you have to increase the fruit in order to not starve yourself, and in order to be really nourishing yourself. So that's something to take into consideration as well, that when I gave the guideline yesterday, I was giving that guideline for someone that is on a well-rounded raw food diet that has fruits in their diet, that has vegetables and greens and sprouts and avocados and coconut and nuts and seeds as well. But if certain things are cut out, then you have to compensate with other foods. So these are my suggestions, and this is my response to a specific question that was sent to me. I also, quite a few people have asked me, you know, that they don't soak their nuts and seeds, and they prefer it when they're buying it and it's in the bag and it's all dried out, it's crunchy and it's yummy that way, and they don't want to soak it because they don't like the taste of it, and they don't have a dehydrator to re-dehydrate it afterwards. So is that all right? Well, my view is because most people that wrote me this said, you know what, hey, I have no digestive issues and I don't soak the nuts and seeds, is that all right? If you have no digestive issues and you prefer to be eating your nuts and seeds not soaked, then by all means do it. It's better than eating chips. It's better than eating caramel coated popcorn. You know, I mean, is it better to have nuts and seeds that are not soaked compared to if they're soaked? Well, you know, it's better if they're soaked. It's going to be just a little bit less of an impact on your body. It'll be easier to digest. But if you're having no issues in the first place, then don't worry. Don't worry. Just keep going. Do what works for you. That's the main thing. Is, you know, the one thing with my philosophy is that if something's working for you, then keep going with it. You know, don't be swayed by what other people are saying, because everyone is different, you know, and a lot of guidelines that I give or that other people give, this is for the general public, okay, and these are basic things, but, you know, everyone is different with their diets, that people have different conditions that they're dealing with and different situations, you know, so that their diet might not be just a basic diet, that their diet might be in some ways refined in certain ways and has to be therefore adjusted, okay? So main thing is, first thing is to check back in with yourself, and if something is working, just keep going, keep enjoying it, and keep doing what you're doing, because what you're doing, it's working, it's great. Enjoy it, celebrate it, have fun with it, all right? So on that note, I'm wishing you guys a fabulous day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.